So LeBron James had plenty to say about a shooting that took place over the last week in Columbus, Ohio. Okay, earlier this week, there was a 16-year-old by the name of Ma'Khia Bryant who was shot dead by a police officer after she tried to stab another black teenager with a knife. And it's very interesting because we've come to a place in our country where we must react the same exact way to every police shooting. That the reaction must be automatically that cops are bad, and that whenever there is a physical altercation between a white cop and somebody that is a minority, and that altercation leads to the death or injury of a minority, we must automatically take that as being systemic racism, and that the cop acted in a way that was not justified, and that the whole country must burn because of it. Now, I have seen the body cam footage, and it is very obvious, and this is being backed by law enforcement across the country, that this was a justified shooting. That this officer acted within the reasonable confines of his job. Okay, but does the left care about the truth? Nope. Does the left care about the evidence? Nope. And LeBron James especially doesn't care. Because after the shooting had been making its way around the internet, LeBron James came out with a tweet and basically threatened the cop involved. He tweeted a picture of the officer that shot Ma'Khia Bryant and said, quote, "You're next," with a little hourglass beside the caption and hashtag accountability underneath the post. Now, like I said, we have come to a place where every single shooting that happens on behalf of a white cop, okay, must automatically be viewed the same way that we viewed the George Floyd case and the George Floyd video. And there's been a lot of controversy about the Derek Chauvin trial, as to whether or not he should have gotten the verdict that he got. And people have been asking the question, how much did the outside voices have? How much impact did they have in what actually went on in the courtroom? Okay, but the thing is that whether or not you agree with the evidence or not, whether or not you agree with the verdict or not, the reality is that regardless of whatever happened, regardless of whatever course the Derek Chauvin trial took, law enforcement was not going to come out of that situation and look positive in the eye of the people. Okay, the damage had already been done. We had seen the video. The drama had unfolded. We dealt with the riots. Law enforcement was not going to come out of that situation and look good. But now, because of that, we must view every single circumstance the exact same way. That's the way the left would have it. LeBron James, after receiving blowback for his initial tweet, which again threatened the police officer and by extension the livelihood of his family, he took that tweet down and posted another tweet which was also divisive. LeBron James said, quote, "I am so blank tired of seeing black people killed by police. I took the tweet down because it's being used to create more hate. This isn't about one officer, it's about the entire system, and they always use our words to create more racism. I am so desperate for more accountability." Now, I will agree with LeBron James on one thing. The initial tweet that he had, that first tweet saying "you're next," was about creating hate. But it's about creating hate for police. It was about creating hate for the truth. And when you have people like LeBron James come out and bash police officers for doing their job, and not only did this police officer do his job and put his life on the line, He also saved the life of another black teenager. But that is not enough to appease LeBron James. That is not enough to appease the left. Okay, if LeBron James is all about accountability, then I wish somebody would hold him accountable for his foolishness. And the thing is, the sad thing is that LeBron James is looked up to worldwide. He is one of the biggest influencers in the world. Okay, and when he comes out and says crap like this, all it does is create a more dangerous America. LeBron James is creating a more dangerous America. Maxine Waters is creating a more dangerous America. And because people like that cannot say one positive thing about police officers, or in this specific situation, a police officer that saved the life of another individual, okay, it's only going to lead to more violence. It's only going to lead to more death. And it's a shame that people like LeBron James can't see it. Or if they do see it, they simply just refuse to act on it. They've refused to acknowledge how much damage they're actually doing. Okay, and people weren't taking the tweet LeBron James initially had and creating more hate out of it. Okay, pursuing the truth is not hateful. Acknowledging the evidence is not hateful. Saving the life of another individual is not hateful. Putting your life on the line is not hateful, which is exactly what that cop did. And I am all for people who act out of hate, people who act out of bias, and people get injured, people get killed for it. I am all for justice being served. But what LeBron James is doing, that is not justice. Okay, he thinks he is justified because of the circumstances. Again, just because it is a white cop in a physical altercation with a minority, that automatically means that the cop was in the wrong. Okay, I am not for that. I am not for painting with this broad brush and treating every single situation like it's the George Floyd case. The only thing that people like LeBron James and people like Maxine Waters and people on the left, the only thing they are doing is jeopardizing the lives of cops, jeopardizing the lives of African Americans. You know, and they are going to see what kind of damage their words cause. They're going to see the negative repercussions of their words and of their actions.